Come Japan.
Welcome to another edition of Why Come Japan. I'm your host, Mr. Radrey, where I interview creatives inside or outside of Japan. And today on my show is, I guess you would say, former YouTuber or still a YouTuber, actor, Mr. Brian Walters, or I should say.
Hey. Yep, that's right. That's me.
Brian has been a friend of mine since, when was it, 2009?
2008, 2009, yeah.
2009, and okay, so give me a little bit about bit of your like timeline here. We should go from the very beginning.
Sure. Yeah,
at least the time since we known each other. You started making YouTube videos when?
I started in 2008. I was making videos on my Systemjap channel, and then in like 2009 or 2010, I focused solely on It's Candy Time. So I had a lot of content on Systemjap, but I started doing It's Candy Time. That started building up and blowing up a little bit, and then I just did a solely It's Candy Time channel after that in 2010 for a bit.
Okay, so let's backtrack a bit here. You had a series that you did.
Yeah,
with, a bunch of us, like the YouTube, I guess you could call the J-Vlog community. I guess we still kind of exist in a way.
Yeah. It was Agent Leo Bangs.
Agent Leo Bangs, yes, that was the web series we did.
Yeah,
I think you captured it at the right time at the right place.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of crazy how that all happened. It was kind of like, I was really into Daniel Craig's 007 at the time.
Oh, okay.
Casino Royale, all those movies. So I was like, I want to have my own secret agent show, and I was like, how can I incorporate all these J-vloggers? Because at the time, and even now, everyone had a lot more subscribers and views than I did. So I was like, how can I raise my platform to the next level? So I thought collaboration is where it's at, and started writing all these roles for everybody.
So let me ask you this. Who was the first person you found in Japan in terms of like English-speaking Japanese vloggers? I mean, I guess J-vloggers is the appropriate term.
J-vloggers, first one? It would probably be Give Me a Break Man.
Which is like a random YouTube search is how you found him?
Yeah, I think, no. It was when I went into YouTube Japan, like the homepage, he was like one of the featured ones, or he was one of the top ones at the time. So I was starting to check out his stuff. And then from there, I started checking out other people. I was really into Betamax DC at the time, too. I don't know if you remember him.
Of course I do. Of course I remember Betamax DC. How could I forget that?
Yeah.
I was even going to ask you about him. Are you still in contact with him?
No, I'm not. I haven't talked to him in like 7
I have
years.
no way of like knowing how to get contact with him. I mean, I could probably ask some of his friends, and maybe they know of a channel I could probably get in contact with him. I think, that's actually something I think I'll probably do.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I got Tokyo Kuni on the channel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Tokyo Kuni was definitely one of the first, too. Tokyo Kuni, Give Me a Break Man. Gosh, it's been 10 years, so it's like kind of crazy, and I haven't been keeping up with it. There were a couple other ones at the time. There were like some female ones, too.
Apple Milk.
Apple Milk, yeah, at that time. So, yeah, and then I started getting in touch with you, started getting in touch with, oh gosh, what's his name? Oh, God. He was like half Australian, half Japanese or something.
Okay.
Super cool guy.
Oh, Street English TV? No,
yeah,
he's half Canadian.
Oh, Canadian? Yeah.
Same thing, right?
Same thing. And, what's her name? I'm so bad with names today. As you can tell, it's like 10 a.m. over here.
No, it's fine. I mean, like 9 years ago. Why even remember that stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I should have recapped myself.
No, it's fine. I mean, thanks for arranging this. For any of our listeners out there who don't know Brian, Brian is you're half Japanese, and you used to live here in Japan. You grew up in Japan, or most of your teenage years in Japan, and then your whole life, and then you moved to New York City because you had family there, or it was just because you went to college there?
No, I moved to New York to act.
I see.
On a bigger level. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah, no, I wasn't sure exactly why you moved to New York City, so I just remember that's what happened.
2009, yeah, I moved here. So 9 years now.
2009. I mean, that's when Leo Banks came out, was 2009?
Leo Banks was 2008, 2009.
Okay. Because I came to Japan in 2009. That was my year. So
yeah, I think I was getting the ball rolling in 2008, and then it was in full motion by 2009.
Okay, gotcha. So, all right. So you made the Agent Leo Banks story, and then you ended it kind of on a I don't know if this is a spoiler. Screw it. I mean, is it still up there? Is Agent Leo Banks still available?
Still up there, but I don't care. You could spoil it.
No, I'm going to spoil it because it's I don't know, more 9 years old. It's if you haven't seen it, you might as well see it now. And I guess I don't know. I guess some people care about spoilers. Sometimes I don't. But
at least you just said spoiler alert or whatever.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Here you go. Spoiler alert: Leo Banks dies at the end.
Or does he? Yeah.
Does he? All right, I gotta ask: would you ever consider rebooting it, or never?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, there was at one point I made a special 3-episode Hawaii zombie apocalypse episode that never was released.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I would get into Leo Bangs again. It's just like YouTube in general for me. It's a lot of work, as you obviously know and have been doing.
Right. I mean, I've noticed that you don't usually do what a typical YouTuber does nowadays.
Yeah.
Is that life's just kind of too stressful or too hard to manage, or what's your opinion?
I got a lot going on in terms of acting gigs and stuff, and getting momentum, keeping it going. Mm-hmm. Also, computer capacity and keeping up with that. Everything's so expensive. So
it really is.
Just time, also editing, just hearing myself saying, "Hey guys, it's candy time," over and over and over again. It's not nightmares, but just starting to constantly think about it, and you're like, "Oh, I can't escape."
Yeah, it is a bit monotonous. That is true.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: Why New York? Not what Los Angeles or?
Well, when I was a kid, I guess working in Tokyo. I was working in Shibuya for Tensei Terebi-kun on NHK. So I would commute every week. A lot of time just traveling back and forth from Yokohama to Tokyo, and I enjoyed that commute. I came to New York before, and I've been to LA before, and I just noticed that New York is a lot more similar to Tokyo in terms of public transit. And
so you did it for the transit.
I did it for the transit, and I also did it for the diversity. There's a lot more diversity in New York over LA, I believe. So
okay, yeah, it seems a bit more in your face than LA is. It's in LA, everybody feels everybody lives under a tunnel or something, or in a cave. You're like, whoa, there's so many minorities here. You know? We're I had no idea there's this many people here because everybody's in their car. But
yeah. So I just wanted to move to New York, and then 9 years later, I'm like, oh, I'm still doing it here, and things are progressing. Things are going well here. So I'm still here. Yeah.
So what would you say that is that keeps you there? I mean, opposed to just coming back to Japan?
I think a huge factor is diversity.
Really? Okay,
yeah,
that's interesting.
when I go back to Japan, I just, I was home in Japan 2-3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I just notice, like, every time I'm home, I get attention that is unneeded.
Okay.
People stare at me, or I get the same questions every day. Why do you speak Japanese?
Wait. What? They ask you why you speak Japanese?
Yeah, of course, man. Like, なんで日本語話せるの? It's like, oh God, here we go. 横須賀出身です。そうなんですか. It's like, all right, here we go.
You get that every time?
Every time.
Man,
Every
really?
time. It's like, でも日本人に見えないですね. It's like, well, I am.
What are you talking about? I mean, I don't know. Probably in the States, you get it all the time, right?
No, the thing is, in New York, everyone's different. So everyone just treats me like a New Yorker, and that's great, It's only Japanese people in New York who are like, 日本語話せるんですか? It's like, oh God, here, all right. And so again.
That's even Japanese people in New York. Okay.
Yeah, constantly. And, if people delve into my life story, like non-Japanese people, they ask questions that aren't typical questions, which is nice. So, of course, I do get typical questions sometimes, like, why is your English so good? And I'm like, just because I grew up in Japan doesn't mean my English is bad.
Right.
Ooh,
So wait, you actually get those questions? I thought those are like
constantly.
Okay.
Probably those two questions from Japanese and like foreign people or like Americans, like probably even 3 last night, like yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess this kind of leads into the next question. So if anybody who follows Brian, I mean, pretty much anybody, anywhere, you always talk about something called BATSU.
Yeah.
Could you think you could explain that to us, or like what it is?
Of course I can explain it. It's my job to explain it.
All right, great.
So
tickets.
BATSU is a live Japanese game show that happens in New York City and in Chicago. The concept is it's a mixture between Whose Line Is It Anyway, with 4 comedy warriors doing short form improv comedy challenges. And if they don't make the audience laugh, or if they fail a challenge, a Japanese schoolgirl will come out and punish these guys. We also have like characters like a giant chicken that will smash eggs on people's heads, getting shot with a paintball gun close range, hand and mouse traps, shot collar on the neck, just absolute craziness. So we do that now. At this point, we do it 7 times a week in New York City, 2 times a week in Chicago. And I will announce this now. This is exciting. We just announced it. We are jumping into BATSU VR. So
Cool.
you Radrey, can check out BATSU if you have an Oculus Rift or if you have a PS4.
I don't have a PS4 and I don't have an Oculus Rift. Someday you
will. Someday we all will. Like we all have these, these phones. So
yeah, right.
I think we're stepping into the future. It's exciting, and anybody in the world could check out BATSU if they wanted to, which is kind of nuts to say, I always thought, I've been doing BATSU for 6.5 years now. Next week is our 1,000th performance.
Nice.
Crazy. And when I started 6.5 years ago, we were just Monday nights. So, going from 1 show a week to 7 shows a week, and selling out, it has been an upward climb, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see hard work come to fruition.
No, definitely. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So this is it's like a show you do. How many times do you do this every day? Or I guess if it's 1,000, obviously not every day, like once a week or.
So it happens 7 times a week now.
Okay.
We do Tuesdays through Saturdays, double Friday, double Saturday. So I did one last night. I'll be doing 2 tonight, which is insane. It is a lot of energy. So out of 7 shows, I do 4 shows a week. Just for my voice, for my spirit, for my mentality. Because it is a drinking show also. So we have a lot of audience members who get sake, beer. We do kampai all together at the end of every challenge. So we have 7 challenges. Everyone chants BATSU when a punishment is happening. It's nuts. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
I guess I have to ask, how did you stumble upon this? Or how did you find out about BATSU?
So I was doing a couple plays in New York, kind of, off Broadway plays. And my director, who I just finished a show with, was like, "Hey man, have you heard of this live Japanese game show that's happening in the East Village?" I was like, "What? Sounds amazing." I'm a huge Gaki no Tsukai fan. I'm a huge, Owarai fan, Japanese comedy fan. I just wanted to check it out for myself. That director also kind of gave me a hint that the show was looking for a new host. I was like, oh, I used to be on Japanese TV. I used to host, It's Candy Time. So I could say I hosted Japanese related things. So I checked out the show. I loved it. I had so many ideas going through my head, which is always a fun idea, a fun thing. And then I met with the producers. I took their improv classes. And then a couple months later, I got hired to be the host of BATSU. And 6.5 years later, here we are.
You're still there today.
Still there today. From Monday nights to Tuesdays through Saturdays.
That's basically your full-time job now.
It is. It really is. I pay my rent. I pay my bills with it, which is crazy to say. Like, I remember Monday nights 6.5 years ago. There were shows when we used to have more cast and crew members than audience members. And so, like, my job would be, I would say, like a dentist. Like, I was pulling teeth. Like trying to convince 10 people to chant BATSU with me.
Okay.
It's kind of weird, right? Because you're in a New York basement restaurant and there's only 8 other people and someone's getting punished on stage right now and we all have to chant BATSU. It's kind of weird. But now my job is different. Like, I feel like a babysitter now because I have 75 drunk people, all chanting BATSU, BATSU, and they know how crazy it is now. So I'm like, okay, calm down. BATSU's are coming. The shtick. Like, I have to explain the BATSU first before we get into the BATSU. A lot of babysitting now over being a dentist, but still fun.
So basically, when it first started, it wasn't really a big thing.
Oh, not at all. No one knew about it.
Who would you say relatively knows about it in New York?
At this point? Or at that time?
I guess at this point, or either the beginning, too.
The beginning, I mean, it was kind of like whoever walked past the restaurant on St. Mark's Place. St. Mark's Place has a lot of history, like a lot of... it's basically like Japantown, but it's like one block, which is kind of sad. There's all these izakaya there. There's some ramen shops. There's some Japanese fashion places, like all on this one street. So if you're looking for like Japanese related things, you would go on the street and, we'd be advertising like on the street, not online, not anywhere. So it was all word of mouth. Going from Monday nights to Mondays and Thursdays, like being able to sell out Monday nights, which is like at that time 40 was selling out. We're like, oh my god, we got 40 people in the house, this is insane. To like now we're selling out at 75 and we're like, okay, we can't really squeeze any more people in. Oh, but we have a party in there, can we have one more? I'm like, yeah, we can try. Now, I mean, it seems like I don't want to say like everyone knows about it. It's an underground thing still for sure. But it's gotten to the point where I walk around New York and people recognize me from BATSU.
Nice.
Or people hear my voice because I use my upper register or I yell a lot in the show. So if I'm like talking at a higher register, people are like, "Oh, you're the BATSU guy." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks for coming to check out the show." I was in an audition at CBS, one of the big networks.
Right.
And one of their head casting people was like, "Oh, I just saw you guys 2 weeks ago." I was like, "What?" So crazy. That was a huge moment for me when someone in the audition room had just seen the show. It's like,
nice. Can you tell us what audition was for, or is it a secret?
Well, that was for a diversity showcase.
Okay.
Each of these networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox and other networks, they have these diversity showcases to get new talent in. And so I was doing one of those. We do it pretty much every year.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I see. So when you first got to New York City, were you studying? Were you at a school, or were you just simply trying to get into acting?
Well, I went to the New York Film Academy for 1 year. That was my foot in the door to New York. I felt like I needed to be in an establishment at least for 1 year. I didn't want to go in blindly. So I feel like that was good just to get myself grounded, learn what the 4 seasons of New York are, which is all 4 seasons, and then start networking, start making connections. And then as soon as I finished at the New York Film Academy, I started doing plays, got my first agent, and then booked my first role through auditioning, which was for CBS. It was for Blue Bloods. I worked with Donnie Wahlberg, New Kids on the Block.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Was that a hard process to go through? Was there any difficulty like getting an agent and finishing school and getting auditions, all that?
Yeah, it's I'm still going through it.
Right. I imagine. Well, I think everybody still goes through it, really, even after you get a big role, right?
It is the most difficult, hard thing that I'm having to go through, like, all the time. Living in New York for 9 years. Hundreds and hundreds of auditions. Thinking, is this the one? Am I going to book this and it's going to change my life? And then not getting it.
Oh.
And then I just know, this is my 20th year in the industry, like from Japan to New York.
Oh, okay. You mean just in terms of acting?
In terms of acting, in terms of auditioning, in terms of being in front of camera, I've been doing it since 1998. So, I know that as soon as I do an audition, there are so many factors that are out of my control. I might remind them of their son who is a brat, or I might remind them of their ex-husband who cheated on them, or I might not have.
They tell you these things?
It could be any number of reasons. If you're seeing 100 actors, and 10 of them are great, and one of them smirked at you the wrong way, that's an easy way to just say, okay, that's one less. We have 9 now, and narrow it down. It could be any number of reasons. So all I can do is my 100%, pray to the audition gods and move on to the next thing.
Right. Okay.
There were a couple really close, really big ones.
Any of them you can divulge here or no?
Sure. I mean, I auditioned for Ready Player One that just came out, the Steven Spielberg movie.
Nice.
I auditioned for the role of Daito. I don't know if you saw that movie.
I did not see it. It's one I need to watch eventually.
It was awesome. I mean, even if I watched the movie, I thought it was visually awesome. I would have loved to have been in it. But it was a 4 audition process over 2 months for me. I don't know about other characters. I don't know about other actors. But for me, I auditioned. I had to go to 4 callbacks over 2 months. Basically, I finish a callback. I'm like, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. I hope I get to work with Steven Spielberg someday. And then I don't hear anything for 2 weeks. And every day I'm like, today I'm going to get the call. Today I'm going to get the call. And then 2 weeks later, he's like, hey, we want to call you back in for round 2. I was like, yes, you know. And then, all right, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. And for 2 months, it's just agonizing, you know.
Yeah, that'd drive me crazy.
Yeah. And then at the end of 2 months in America, in Japan, they tell you, like, gomen nasai, moshaki gozaimasen, you didn't get it, you know. In America, They don't do that.
They don't tell you. You just, like, you don't hear anything.
They don't hear anything, yeah. So after 2 months, I'm like, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. It's been 2 weeks. It's been a month. It's been a month and a half. All right, I think I should stop thinking about it now, you know?
Damn.
Yeah. And then you see a casting, or you see, like, on Hollywood Reporter, like, who got it, and you're like, oh, okay.
That's the way you have to find out. Damn.
Yeah, basically.
That's cutthroat. Wow. Man.
Yeah. There have been a couple things. That was the biggest one in recent years, you know.
Huh. So, like, do you have, like, when your agent, like, makes up your, I don't know, I guess, portfolio or resume or whatever it is, how does he market you? I'm guessing, if you don't mind me using that terminology.
Yeah. I mean, so my manager, she and I, we come up with my headshot, we come up with my resume, come up with a website, come up with reels, my acting reels. So mostly my YouTube channel is now my acting reels or, like, work that I've done. Mm-hmm. It's why I moved to New York, so that's why it's up there. And then I have all these profiles. My manager or my representation gets these breakdowns. Breakdowns are basically roles, characters that casting people, productions are looking for. And then my manager will be like, oh, Brian's perfect for this. And then will send me out. They can be like, oh, Brian's perfect for this. Let's have him in. Or they could say, what's this guy doing in this roster? He doesn't belong here. Move on, you know.
Yikes.
Any number of reasons. And I have no idea about these conversations. You know, there might be something that comes across I don't want to say desk because I don't have desk, but comes across my desktop or my email.
Right. Desktop's close enough.
Yeah. And is like, Brian, you'd be perfect for this. They're looking for a half Japanese, half German American hippie.
Something that specific.
Yeah, so specific. Then I'm like, manager, you need to send me out for this, you know. We need to get me in the door for this. But most of the times, like, I have no idea what I'm being sent out for. I trust my representation sending me out and doing a good job representing me.
How does, like, one get an agent? You just call them? You're like saying, hey, you want to represent me? Or
dude, every step leads to the next step. So I was doing this play. I was doing Julius Caesar. I was doing Shakespeare. It was kind of a rockabilly, like, rock and roll biker gang version of Julius Caesar. And I was playing Brutus, who is not Brutus. I was playing Lucius, who is Brutus's apprentice of awesomeness, as I call them. All right. He's kind of the comic relief, or there isn't much laughter in Julius Caesar, as you can imagine. So I thought, hey, I got the comedic role in this rockabilly world. What can I be? Everyone's, you know, leather jackets, hips, you know, like big Rizento, big hair, greaser. And I'm like, I'm going to be the stoner. I'm going to be the hippie pothead with the army jacket. That's always, you know, Lucius is always late. He always needs something repeated to him. He always needs like reassurance. So I'm like, he's always coming in late. So I started really, you know, listening to The Doors, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, just like getting really into it. And an agent came to see that show, and she said, you were fantastic. I got a couple reviews saying The guy who played Lucius was great. So combining those two things, I said I would like a meeting with you, and I applied to 3 agents who came to see our show, and only one of them said, "Yeah, we want to see you." I had a meeting with them, and then I did like a mini audition type of thing in the meeting. They were just trying to see how I am on my feet, and then knocked it out of the park. Signed with them, and then started auditioning. While I was working with them, I had a friend of a friend who met me and was like, "Hey, my manager is looking for diverse talent. They're kind of looking for a half Asian person right now, so that you might be great." So there are like rosters, like a manager will want a Caucasian actor, or like a dad, a college student, a kid. They want a black dad, a black college student, a black kid. They want an East Asian dad, East Asian. So they needed a roster for ethnically ambiguous or multi-ethnic college kid, and that's me. So I had a meeting with them. I had a meeting with that manager, signed with them, and then I was with them for a couple years. Started meeting people through happenstance in the industry, and then had my current manager, who was really interested in me. She had come seen BATSU, was a huge fan of the show. I really appreciate her support, and just really appreciated her energy. So I decided to sign with them, and it's been 3, 4, 5 years now since I've been working with them, and I love them so much. So
you could probably say the lesson here is just consistency is key.
Consistency, and I would say the idea of saying yes all the time is great, but know when to say no.
Like, when do you say no?
You say no when you've gotten past a certain point. For example,
or the role doesn't feel like it's meaty enough or something.
Sure. You gotta know when to say no, or you're gonna stay in that level. For example, I am in the union now.
Nice.
So I won't do any more student films. I used to do a lot of student films why do you do student films? You do student films for relationships, for building your acting reel. So, I just wanted to get to the next level. Next level is getting an agent, joining the union. So I don't need to be doing any more student films.
Okay, I gotta ask, what do you have against student films? They just don't pay?
They don't pay. They take a lot of time because
that's true.
They don't know
what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's 90% of all student films. So yeah.
Yeah. And then like respect of the set.
Of the set.
Set, yeah. For example, like, I had experiences in the early days when I was a student, so I wasn't complaining, like I wasn't able to say anything, or I didn't really realize at the time. But we were doing shoots in the middle of winter, like January, February, New York, cold, and we were doing summer shots. So here I am wearing t-shirt and shorts, and in Japan or in an American proper set, they will have a big jacket or hand warmers or coffee or something to like wrap you up and keep you warm between shots.
Yeah, and that's common courtesy.
Common courtesy, right? That only makes sense. When you see your talent freezing their ass off and going like, for between shots, something's wrong. Like, we need to take care of this guy. That wasn't happening. Like, for two different shoots that I did, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to shoot in winter anymore. Or like, are we shooting exterior for a summer shot? Like, what are we doing? I need to know everything we're doing first, so that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, that's just what do you call that? I don't know if that's respecting the set. That's just respecting your actors.
Yeah.
I guess that do you have any good experiences from doing any student films or not really?
Oh, plenty. Yeah. I mean, yeah, making friends, meeting people.
Oh, I see.
Getting some decent footage. At this point, I don't think I have anything left, but I had some footage for the longest time that was in my reel. That was a student film. But the thing is, like, casting people, industry people can tell. They look at the reel and they're like, "Oh, you still have student film stuff in here." Like,
wow, that really taints the resume, huh?
No, in the sense that let's say I had Blue Bloods. I have like 2 commercials on my reel at the time, like this a couple of years ago, and then the rest of student films. You can tell where I am in my career. It's like, oh, this guy's still kind of new. He has like 3 things that he's booked, but the rest are student films as a filler. Versus now I have 7, 8 different professional things that I was paid for that are on my reel. Maybe 1 student film. So these guys were like, oh, this guy has experience working on 7 different sets at least. And he keeps getting work. So maybe we should work with him,
Okay. I got you.
It's all psychology, really. Like, what's their mentality? How are they thinking? How would they view this,
Oh.
Because they're thinking about audience psychology of like,
oh, right.
People like this guy. Will this person sell? Does this person have a history of, spewing hate on Twitter or, doing whatever on Twitter? And the thing is,
are you throwing shade at somebody right now?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
I just think about, things biting you in the ass someday.
Okay.
And I just try to be aware of all of that since, many, many years ago. Like, I don't curse on Twitter or Facebook or anything. I rarely curse on YouTube. All that stuff. I try to be as careful as possible because you never know where it's going to lead you.
Yeah, I guess that is true. Yeah.
Look at freaking, just to make this as relevant as ever, October 5th, 2018, like all this Brett Kavanaugh stuff, he never thought his yearbook would be the main focus of the entire world. And there it is, and that's a yearbook. It's not even online. Now it is. But, think about Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff that goes back. James Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy making this from 10 years ago, and still Disney fired him. So you just got to be careful. You got to go through everything.
I guess this makes me want to ask: do you have a Twitter account? Systemjap?
Yeah, it's still Systemjap. Instagram is Bkeiya, Bkeiya.
Okay, I'll throw that.
Yeah, but I think I'll eventually I'm gonna make everything one thing. What are you laughing at?
No, Higo Simon in the chat says he's really in quite the devil's triangle.
Oh my gosh! Wait a minute! You're seeing all these people?
Yeah, no, it's on the chat, right? No, there's not that many people. It's just
okay.
Higo Simon.
Higo Simon?
Yeah, he's in there. He asked a question I was going to ask. He says, "Have you ever played a Mexican?"
Oh gosh.
I think that's a joke.
Yeah.
Have you really? I mean, you can answer it if you, or you don't have to answer.
At one point, I know he's not Mexican, but at one point in a play, I played the illegitimate son of Antonio Banderas. So that's the closest thing. But
okay. All right. Real question here.
Okay.
Simon also asks, I understand that in the U.S. in particular, they put a lot of stock on ethnic categorization, but I wonder if this makes multicultural people feel marginalized.
Pico, this is such a good question. This is so interesting and tough. I've been pushing for social justice the past couple of years. I've been dating a social worker. We talk about social issues like on a constant basis. It's all starting from like whitewashing. The first example off the top of my head is Scarlett Johansson.
The whole Ghost in the Shell thing.
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Matt Damon in The Great Wall or whatever. All this stuff. You know, there are so many actors. There's so many East Asian actors. There's so many Latino actors, Black actors that can represent their own representation. So it makes me weird because when I first moved here, I'm like, I can categorize myself as a multi-ethnic person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, actual Latinos think that I'm Latino until they hear me speak no Spanish. You know, my barber recently was like, Uzbeki? And I was like, whoa, I'm not Uzbekistani. You know,
maybe the hair. I don't know.
Probably the hair. It's probably, you know, it's probably the eyes. Like, it's probably my look. But it's tough because in this day and age, I will get a role that's for a Latino, for example, and I don't feel that it's right. You know, there are so many, I have so many Latino actor friends who would be great for this. So, like, I would prefer it goes to them. What I'm hopeful for and what I'm excited about is I think the world is going to be more diversified and more multi-ethnic as Hiko, as your kid is, you know? Like, so I feel like I'm a pioneer in a sense. I think 20 years from now, multi-ethnic people are going to be the norm. So, you know, in media, the Black narrative is really being pushed with Black Panther, Black Klansman, all these Black movies coming out, which is great. This year, Crazy Rich Asians has a huge push. So we're going into the Asian trend right now. I imagine Latinos are going to be next with Coco. They just said, remember me. So Coco, I think multi-ethnic people are on the bottom of the totem pole, to be honest. I'm for the East Asian or Asian cause. I'm for the Black cause. I'm for all the causes of minorities and different backgrounds. But I think in the long run, multi-ethnic people are going to be a thing. Our stories will be told, and it will be normal to have a sitcom of a multi-racial family. I know they have Modern Family right now where they adopted a Vietnamese girl, but I can't wait to see a TV show where the parents are both different ethnicities and the kid is multiracial. You know, that's a future I'm looking forward to. If that answers your question.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's not my question, so.
Well,
I mean, it's. I mean, Hugo Simon in the chat says, "I think the world is already more multi-ethnic than the mass media recognizes." I mean, yeah. I mean, things are definitely kind of changing. We're at this kind of weird transition right now with kind of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, especially like with analog versus digital, and a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, constantly pushing towards the future, right?
Yeah, indeed. All right, so one kind of big question I wanted to ask is, what made you want to be an actor? I mean, like, you started off with acting in Japan here.
Yeah.
You mostly did, like, because I mean, acting in Japan, because like I've done it a little bit. Maybe you've seen some of my stuff, but
I remember.
I'm gonna really talking down about it, but there's not really that much opportunity for acting. It's mostly just like you do plays and maybe you can get a movie here and there. Well, maybe just for foreigners, but what made you want to pursue it? I guess is just my question overall.
Yeah. So when I was 8, I joined the modeling agency. I hated it. I hated the process of it all. And then when I was 11 or 12, I joined Tensei Terebi-kun on NHK, and I did that for 2 years. And my mentality switched. You know, I was going through a lot of stuff at home, at school, and I preferred being on set. I preferred being in Tokyo, being on TV. At that time, I really loved the fame. I liked being noticed at the time. So just getting a taste of that, you know. And then after I graduated from the show, all I wanted to do was taste it again. like go back to being successful or like being on TV regularly. Just being like on camera, being in front of others, like bringing joy to people, fulfills me, you know, as a performer, as an entertainer, and it's what I'm good at. And I want to just keep pushing it and pursuing it. And ever since I was a kid, it's what I see me doing for the rest of my life. You know, I don't plan on retiring. Like, I want to be 80 and I want to be still acting, because there are roles for 80-year-olds, you know. I want to be 90 and I want to be the ancient, you know, ancient old man. You know, I think I could do this for the rest of my life for sure. And I don't think anything could really sway me at this point. 20 years later, I don't think anything can sway me, and I won't let anything sway me. But you know, in a matter of time, like, I'm going to be on red carpets again. I'm going to be traveling the world. I'm going to be a household name. And I really do believe that. And I just have to believe that and keep going, you know?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Also, just, you know, just being able to have a platform to make a difference and bring awareness to things is really important to me too. Like right now, social justice is like a huge thing for me. Just bringing awareness to like what's going on. So yeah, that's why I am still acting.
Okay.
Actually, so I don't know if you are familiar with this entertainer. He was American, but did big in Japan. He was Bob Sapp. He was
yeah, of course.
Wrestler guy. So I worked with Bob Sapp in 2004.
Wait, what? You never told me this. You worked with Bob Sapp?
Yeah, go on my Instagram. There's one short video of me working with Bob Sapp.
What was it? BK, was it?
BK, or go to my Twitter and go to photos, and there's like a picture of me with Bob Sapp.
All right, I'll find it.
I asked different entertainers, or like, you know, people more experienced about advice and stuff, and I'll never forget what he said to me. He said, "Brian, you speak perfect English. If you go to America and become successful and come back to Japan, they'll treat you so much more differently." And I was like, oh
yeah, definitely.
That's true. You know, like, I was just watching the way they were treating Bob Sapp, and it's like, he's a superstar, you know. And I watched the Japanese industry. I see more Hafu performers coming out, which is great. I'm so happy to see that. But just to see the way people treat Hafu talent makes me a little bit upset. Kind of,
okay.
They're the baka geinin. They're kind of the dumb one, you know, like Dora.
Oh, right.
Is an example of like a Barbie, like who.
Yeah, that's true.
Who's kind of dumb, you know. And they're like tennen boke.
Yeah, they're definitely focused on the stereotypes.
Right. I'm kind of, you know, I'm doing an interview with you, but, you know, I have the goofy personality, especially like it's candy time when I want to turn it on. But I don't want to be tennen boke. Like, I want to be goofy. I want to be personable, but I do want to be a superstar again someday. So I can't wait to work on like baraiti bangumi and different Japanese forums, and all over the world, you know.
Right. Okay, so I found the tweet here. I'll put it in the chat. But
cool.
Okay, I think you did tell me about this a long time ago. I'm now looking at it now. How did I forget about this? Well, anyway. How is that documentary big in Japan? Any good? Have you seen it? Man, you're so young here. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You never saw it?
No.
Okay, I know it's on iTunes or something for like $14 or something. Maybe I can get that. Or whatever.
Wait, it's Bob Sapp?
No, yeah, Bob Sapp's in the documentary.
Okay.
Him and a couple of other people. And
gotcha.
He recently did a podcast on Tofugu's podcast. So
Bob Sapp,
or he did it in, not Bob Sapp, the director of Big and
Okay, all right.
I imagine you could probably get Bob Sapp. I don't know what he's doing nowadays.
All right. I tweeted him a couple years ago, and he replied, which is nice.
Oh, really? Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are they still kicking it? Hiko Simon has another question.
Okay, go for it.
As an actor, is there any difference between going for digital platform-based roles, Netflix, Amazon, as opposed to like traditional media? I'm guessing like film or
there is a difference.
TV. I guess TV is digital though.
Well, there are different contracts. There are.
Oh, really? This I didn't know.
There's digital media, just like how Hiko just said. But there's just like TV contracts as well. CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox, major networks, where I signed a contract where I would get residuals, right? Every time they air that episode, I would get a cut. Versus Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, it's a flat fee. So no matter how many times people watch it, I won't get paid anything more.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get paid a flat fee. So I would prefer, I'm going to take any gig I can get. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, if you're listening right now, I'm down. But I obviously would prefer those residual based gigs because I still get paid for Blue Bloods. I still get paid for AMC Halt and Catch Fire every quarter, so.
That's not bad.
Here's something that we haven't talked about. This is YouTube related. I did Epic Rap Battles of History.
Yeah, no, I was going to get into that.
Okay,
You got into Epic Rap Battles of History all because you just worked at the BATSU, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they just happened to be there and like saying, hey, we need a guy to play Ash Ketchum.
No, that's not how it happened.
Okay, all right. It's not my story, so take it
BATSU producer Joe Tex, he's friends with Epic Lloyd. So
okay.
We had our 500th BATSU, which is half a BATSU ago, literally almost. It was our 500th BATSU. We needed a special guest. We got Epic Lloyd all the way from LA to New York, and we did 2 shows with him, and everyone's working on stuff. He's the guest, so he's kind of chilling, and I'm the host, so I was kind of chilling too. And I'm a fan of Epic Rap Battles of History, so I was just kind of chatting with him, and he said, "Oh, Brian, do you have any ideas?" And Pokemon Go had just come out.
Oh, right.
2 weeks prior, and I was obsessed, and I'm still obsessed with it. And I said, "Oh, you should jump on this Pokemon Go craze." This was like when people were running in the street. People were stampeding to catch a Dratini,
Okay.
So he was like, "Hey, man, I'm in my 40s. I don't know anything about Pokemon." I said, "Well, there's a guy named Ash Ketchum. He's the main character. He collects Pokemon. Pokemon evolve. There's like evolution. So maybe he would be good against someone like Charles Darwin, who collects creatures and believes in evolution." And he was like, "That's good." And that CBS showcase that I mentioned earlier, where I talked about BATSU, or the casting people recognized me from BATSU, I had just seen Hamilton, the musical.
Right.
The rap musical, and I wrote this sketch called Confucius, where it's just imagine like Confucius doing gangster rap. It's kind of entertaining in my mind. But I wrote this whole rap. I said, "Hey, man, I got this rap. Do you want to hear it?" And then I did it for him. And then, 2 days later, I get a call. "Hey, man, we want to fly you out to LA to play Ash Ketchum."
Damn.
What?
All the way to LA just for that. That's amazing.
Man. And the thing is, like, when I pitched it to him, I didn't even think of being in the video. I was just kind of shooting the slop with him.
Kind of just spitballing, huh?
Yeah. So, that's a dream come true. You can also find on my Instagram a picture of me, a purikura of me from 1997 as Ash Ketchum. It was like this 97. Pokemon purikura. Yeah. So, like, my dream came true, and my childhood dream came true, which is crazy, man. And I spent a whole week out there in LA, working with Maker Studios, rapping, and then doing the music video. And it was a fantastic week. If I could work all the time like that, that's the dream, you know. It was awesome.
It's amazing. Wow. I mean, they haven't really made anything in a long time now. Epic rap battles.
I don't know what's going on with them. I think they're on a little bit of a hiatus, or they're like working on a couple things right now. But can you still see me right now?
Yeah, I can see you fine.
Okay, I was just checking the Ash Ketchum because I haven't checked that in a while. But
you mean the video itself?
Video itself, yeah. It's at 22. So crazy, 22 million.
Is that the last one they've made, or is there more since then?
There's been a couple more, I think.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so dude, it's so crazy, man. Because I was in the recording booth, and 2 days of recording raps over and over and over again, trying to get the right sound, right pitch. Mm-hmm. Behind the scenes stuff. My Ash Ketchum voice is a mixture between Aziz Ansari and Eminem.
Okay. How did you get that? How did you prepare for that one?
Well, I just noticed my rap style was a little bit more Eminem-y. And they just kept saying, like, higher voice, like squeakier. And I was like, I kind of sound like Aziz right now. So I started, like, channeling Aziz, but trying to be gangsta about it like Eminem. So that's how I did it. I mean, I did it over and over again. But while I was in there, I said, yo, Peter, like, who's in the booth after me? Who's going to be, like, recording the next episode? And it's already released, so I can share that. But he was like, oh, T-Pain's going to be in here. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, T-Pain's going to be Stevie Wonder versus Wonder Woman. I was like, oh, my God. I can't believe I'm warming up the booth for T-Pain. It's awesome. Yeah.
It is amazing. Wow. That shoot took about a week, and then it went up. It took about like a month or something before it went up. Is that right?
Yeah.
I remember talking to you through Facebook chat, I think, and you were saying, man, something really big's about to come out, but I can't tell you what it is.
Right.
Do you ever get any like big roles like that where you're like, man, I want to tell everybody, but I can't?
There are a couple things right now. Yeah. I have, I have like 2-3 big things on the horizon that I can't talk about.
Right.
Exciting, and the bigger I get, or the further I get in my career, there are going to be more stuff that I can't talk about. Think about MCU, like Marvel people or like Star Wars people. They can't talk about things for years, right? They can't even tell their best friends because you never know where that information is going to go. So this is a good place. I need to practice NDAs, non-disclosure agreements.
Yeah. I guess this brings me up to my next question. Do you have a favorite, role that you've played over your whole career? Like one that you wish, like, man, I wish I had more lines or more of a chance to play that character again.
Oh, I mean, I would say Ash Ketchum,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, you only get to see me in that rap video. I wish I could have played the epic rap battle version of Ash Ketchum, because he has a different personality, than the TV show. Like, I watched a lot of the cartoon to like get into character and stuff, but I wish I could explore more of that character. It's such a fun character. I think my persona at BATSU, my name's Brian Buchan Walters as a character there.
Okay.
Buchan as in Brian, Budayanchan, Buchan. But now people call me Booch there. Buchan became Booch over 6 years.
All right. So, it's evolved.
Yeah, Booch on stage is a really fun persona or character to be in. And I get to be a part of that for, 4 times a week. So I can't really think of anything else. Like everything else has been kind of smaller roles. Like, for Blue Bloods, I was a model in the background going, cops! Like,
yeah, I've never seen that in your demo reel.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I so wish I could do a role like that. It's like, that's me right there. Look, did you see it? Like, what? Who are you?
Right. Dude, there's a funny story right there. Like I auditioned for that role and basically I was supposed to be shirtless. I was supposed to be a shirtless model that opens the door and Donnie Wahlberg goes, mind if we join the party? And I go, cops, right? I open the door, cops. They brought me on set. I was so used to being an extra or background. So I was like hanging out with the extras and they were like, you're not an extra, get over here. You're a model, right? And I was like, yeah. And then I had my own trailer or like my own room in the trailer, which is great. I was like, oh man, I'm living the big life. And then they were like, Brian, your scenes are going to be after lunch. Okay. And at this point, like I'm a starving artist, like, paycheck to paycheck really at that point. And I was like, lunch. And lunch was Mexican buffet, like fajitas,
nice.
Just unlimited. And I went back for seconds. I went back for thirds and I started grabbing dessert. And the guys were like, Brian, we need you on set right now. Lunch is over. And I was like, oh, okay. And I get on set. I meet the director. Director's super serious. And he goes, all right, take your shirt off. Because I'm a shirtless guy. I take my shirt off and I am the Grinch. I have a huge pot belly, because I've gone back for thirds. Like I ate so much.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like I have like a big Grinch belly. And all I hear the director say is he went, whoa, can we get wardrobe in here? And I was like, can we get a black t-shirt for this guy? And I was like, oh man. He's like, all right, you're not opening the door anymore. And I'm like, no. They're like, who wants to open the door? And he like picked an attractive girl.
Oh man.
He was like, you're going to be over here. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm behind the background. So if you watch that clip again on my YouTube, my demo reel, I'm literally behind the background going, cops! In the background. So that's the story behind it. But I was originally supposed to open that door half naked.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. So now I don't eat that much.
Glad to have that context now. The next time I watch *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Blue Bloods, yeah.
Oh, Blue Bloods. Excuse me.
So there are, everything has a story. I would say if you have any questions, I can always answer them. But yeah,
true.
That was the Blue Blood story.
Interesting. Hugo Simon has another question.
Go for it.
Our doctorate of questions here.
Mm-hmm.
If I was Steven Spielberg and I was going to make whatever movie you want for you to star in, what movie would that be?
Hiko, this is a question for you. Is this material that we all know, or is this something that I could make up?
Guess we'll have to wait for his answer. I guess in the meantime, while we're waiting for his answer, so now it's been 9 years since Leo Bangs, and I asked you earlier if you wanted to reboot it, and the answer would probably be no. Can I say that? Can I say that?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, more or less no. If I'm going to do it, it would be a whole reboot. It would be a whole much cleaner thing from the beginning. But yeah, probably. All right.
Here, Simon wrote back. He says, you can make it up.
I can make it up. Okay. So, pet project, a personal project that I've been working on, that I've been building up over the last couple of years is, I'll just give you the log line or like a tagline.
All right, I'm listening.
Street buskers or street performers meet the Japanese Yakuza underground in New York City. That's my log line.
Okay.
It's a cat and mouse chase. These two buskers, these two street performers witness a murder between two Japanese Yakuza members. I really want to be in a Yakuza movie or Yakuza show. I know I don't seem like I could play it, but I think I could.
All right.
Yeah, I would want
Yakuzers.
Yakuza.
Simon in the chat says you should make a movie called Yakuzers. Anyway, continue.
It sounds like really Southern, like American South, like, yeah, we're the Yakuzers.
Or what's there's another movie called Hoosiers. That's like
Hoosiers.
Indiana.
Yeah. So I really want to do something mafia related. I really like mafia movies and TV shows.
Okay. There's not that many Yakuza movies, though.
Yeah, so this is aiming towards 2020. Like, I feel like that would be a great concept. Like, I also don't see many shows or TV, movies about street buskers, street performers. But I think a combination of the two would be freaking awesome. And I guess this is postmarked. Like, everyone heard it on this. So if we see it 2 years from now that it's not from me, we know that someone heard it here.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Ego Simon asked, would you be a Yakuza or a busker?
I would want to challenge myself to be a Yakuza.
Okay.
I want to be like...
That's a pretty serious role, but all right.
Serious role. This is the idea I had, was I want to be a half Japanese Yakuza that is never truly accepted. I want to show the weird acceptance and non-acceptance that half Japanese people receive. And I really want to push my image, like go opposite spectrum of being this nice guy. I want to be super tough Yakuza going through these struggles and stuff. It would be easy for me to play a busker, so like, because I've done it. I am a busker, and like so if it comes to that, then it'd be easy for me to put myself in that role. But if I want to challenge myself, I want to play Yakuza. That would be awesome.
Okay, so do you normally get a lot? Do you not normally get a lot of serious roles? They're mostly kind of these,
kind of goofy roles. But I have been getting.
That's what I've seen a lot in your reel and commercials that I've seen of you.
I have gotten a couple serious auditions, but usually, like, if I'm in the gang, I'm like the youngest gang member. A gang member who's going through identity struggles, which is fine. I love that kind of stuff. But someday from now, I think I could play like a like serious guy who has killed someone. Yeah. Huh.
Well, I guess until that day comes.
Right. No, I'm not going to kill anyone.
Waiting. Right.
Yeah.
I guess this is a weird question, but okay. I had a friend who used to act in LA. Yeah. He had his own dojo and everything, but he came back to Japan for I forgot why. But anyway, he told me that he got a lot of these jobs in Los Angeles, being Japanese and speaking in Japanese sometimes. Like he was in Letters from Iwo Jima, and was it Beat Takeshi's brother? He's the guy who gets chopsticks pushed up his nose. If you remember that scene, if you saw Brother.
I did not.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, he was telling me that he got all these roles because he was in his 40s, but he got all these roles because he looked like he was in his 30s. Right. Do you ever get these roles because you look particularly younger, or?
Yeah, absolutely. To share my age, I'm 28 now, which is crazy.
Oh, what? That's fine.
Because when we met, I was 18, 19,
Yeah, so, right. Time flies, right?
28, I try to take care of my face. I try to take care of my body. Mm-hmm. So I still get sent out for college roles. Sometimes I still get sent out for 18, sometimes 17-year-old roles, which is crazy because if you put me in a role with in a room with another 17-year-old, I have no idea what they're talking about. No idea. Fortnite? What is that? I don't know. So Yeah, and people just like acting with that guy, 40 years old, auditioning and acting as a 30-year-old. He has more life experience, He knows what a 30-year-old would go through, but he still looks like he's 30. So I think as long as I still look like I'm in my early 20s, like I think I'm going to get those roles, and I have the experience, I have the life experience to be able to play that,
Yeah, I guess if you just go around, I guess if you're going to get like a teenage role, you just go around saying everything's lit.
Right.
I guess that's all I would say.
Yeah.
It seems to be the slang everybody's using nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't
probably since you are saying it right now, they've probably moved on to something else.
Oh, damn.
That's usually how it goes. Right?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh. Okay. Where does the slang get developed? It's all through the YouTubes?
In the streets.
On the streets? Who even goes on the streets anymore? It's all on the internet now.
That's true.
Everybody has a tablet.
Yeah.
Going outside's overrated. Ego Simon says, I only use 1980s New Zealand slang. What even is that?
No idea.
I wonder what those are. I guess if I have him on the show, I'll have to ask him that the next time he's here. All right, Brian.
I'd love to catch up sometime.
I'm sorry?
I was telling Hiko out there, I would love to catch up sometime. Hope you're well. Yeah. I know I can't read his response or hear him, but I'm sure
you can. You cannot. I can send the link. Did I not send it to you? Here, I'll send it to you. Guess I didn't send you the link. I'm sorry.
So I'm getting at the very end. But.
All right, Brian. That's about it. That's all the questions I have for you. I want to thank you for being on the show. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
I mean, just I guess like plugs and stuff. BATSU. BATSU VR is coming very soon, so you can follow that progress on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Facebook is Brian Walters Acting. Instagram is Bkeiya, Bkeiya. Twitter is Systemjap. I'm also a reporter on FCI, Fujisanke, so you can check out different reporting gigs and stories that I do. Lots on the horizon, as I mentioned, that I can't really mention right now, so just follow my progress. And I'm so happy to talk to you again, Radrey.
Yeah, right. It's been ages. It's like when you were in Japan, I wanted to go grab a coffee with you, but I guess this is a good excuse.
Yeah,
that's the best thing about having a podcast. You can talk to people, and people will agree to talk to you just because you're making content.
That's true. And if you want to have me again, I know this was number 30 for you.
Yeah.
Yet I don't know, 75 or 100 or 130. I'm down to come back anytime.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'll definitely hold you to that.
Cool.
I still have. There's a booking all my new guests for next month and after that month and the next year, and it's a long process. Yeah, it really is. I mean, I don't know. It's actually not that hard. I mean, it's just time consuming. That's all.
That's the hard work, man.
Is it? I don't know. Paste this. Jump that. Put that over here. Put this there. Send this over here.
It's effort, man. It's effort.
Yeah, indeed. All right. So this was a live recording off of YouTube. You can listen to the show on iTunes if you're not listening to it on iTunes already. You should probably mention you should give the show 5 stars at the beginning of the show because nobody's giving it 5 stars. Somebody go give it 5 stars and say, I don't know, who you want to have on the show or something.
Yeah.
How do I get people to get 5 stars, Brian? What do I got to do? I got to hold them ransom or something or what?
Yep, exactly. All of them.
Say I got your credit card number, and if you want to see it again, or you want me to release it through Twitter or something, you leave me 5 stars. I don't know why do I want people to give me 5 stars? I should tell people to join Patreon or something. That's what you need to do, right?
Yeah.
what do you do nowadays when you're an online maker? I guess Patreon's where you want to go, right?
Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon's in the chat or in the description below if you want to support the show. I'm hopefully making a Rad Culture video essay on the origins of Halloween and what the theme of 2018 Halloween is. Be sure to catch that when that comes out. You can follow me on Radrey on Twitter, RADORII. And you know, if I'm in Facebook, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Until then, next week is Ronan Dave.
Nice.
Be sure to tune in. Same time, same rad channel, same rad place, same rad sofa, same Nico Doga.
There you go.
And until then, I'm Radley and
Brian. Yeah,
I'm Brian. Yes.
Brian, sorry.
All right. See you, dude.
See ya. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.